Morning everybody, another video coming up for you. Oh dear, road rage. Right, you'll probably guess where I am in a moment, but I want to start this video off by just explaining something. So in 1976, when I left school, I went straight into the steel industry, and we're working with heavy machinery. I got a little bit fascinated by all the heavy stuff and how things worked, and the mechanics and all the science behind it and things like that. And I did a three-year course at college, which I mentioned in a couple of videos back on Rotherham Town Centre, which leads me up to this. So in 1980, I read some history books on Rotherham, and it's only since then I found out about this chap. And this chap is called Samuel Walker, and he was a guy from Sheffield. Now, he first started, one of his founders at Masbro, and he was a very religious person. Was this Samuel Walker and his family, and he had a couple of sons. In the mid 1970s, and us being young teenagers, and palling round here with my mates from Masbro, Samuel Walker, where this green is now, he had a chapel built for him and his workers so they could practice the religions. This is the cemetery that was built, or what was consecrated for the Walker family. So, and this is the graveyard, and that there is the Walker Mausoleum. It didn't used to be fenced off like this. I'll just walk you around it. It didn't used to be fenced off, but I can understand why. Oh, there's an history board here, look. Didn't know that. I'll just point this to tape for a minute, see if you can read this. So when we were kids, this would have always been here, of course, but I never knew it. I never knew it was here. These trees weren't here when we were kids. Well, they would have been, but they wouldn't have been as mature as this. I mean, I'm talking 50 years ago. And it looks like it had according to that picture on that history board, it probably had a wall built round it. Or it did have a wall built round it. Looks like remnants of that walls here, look. Or it might be a tomb. Probably a tomb. So it's more or less, because of the road improvement scheme, this wouldn't have been at the side of the road, obviously, but because of the road improvement scheme, this dual carriageway, etc., which has been here since the 70s, late 60s, 70s anyway, I used to drive past here many a time and look at it because I knew what it were. But I think people just drive past and don't even know what it is. Anyway, Samuel Walker found another site, and where you see this building here, that's where they're building a new complex on what became known as Forge Island, because that's where he had his forge and rolling mills. Samuel Walker died in the late 1700s and left his business to his two sons. And I know one was called Joshua, and he had built a house in Clifton, which I'm going to take you up and I'm going to show you now. And this is it, look. Joshua Walker's Clifton House. This would have been the grand entrance. This would have been the front entrance with probably a road leading up to it. All these houses wouldn't have been here then, of course. And he would have been in a prominent position on the top of an hill. And I don't know, so this is set in Clifton, well, this is Clifton House, and it's now known as the Rotherham, or the Clifton Museum, or the Rotherham Museum. And there you have it, the rear of Clifton House, Joshua Walker's residence. After Joshua Walker died, I think someone else bought the house unrelated to the Walkers, and then it got sold on again. There's a column here, look. And there's some bases for other columns. Just noticed. Then there's column there, look. That looks to be original stonework. And so does that. So that was a little trip round the Walkers and a little bit of history about Samuel Walker, and his sons. I think he had two sons who he left his business to, and I know that it was Joshua who had this Clifton House built. That's really all I know. As I say, I'm going back 40 years from when I read the history books. I really should go on the net before I start doing these videos, but then if you go on the net and then you start reciting passages or paragraphs from the net, you know, what other people have put on perhaps, it sounds scripted, and then I'm just going to trip over myself, which I do many a time anyway. So thanks for watching again. I hope it's been a little bit of interest, and if you're that interested, you'll search for the walkers anyway, and what they achieved. They achieved much more than what I've explained, but everything I say, I condense it down and it just comes from inside here. But as I say, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, whenever that may be. I'll see thee.